When people talk about the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, they talk about the wild outfits and those cool guests. But man, there's so much more to that show. I mean, Sonny just captures the passion in every song. He makes it look so easy. But you see, that's talent. That's talent shining through there. That man is always on. And comedy, just watch his delivery here.
No, Cher!
Now that's comedy. Here's another one.
A nose job!
Oh man, that's good. His timing is impeccable. Look. Here he's dancing. Yeah, man. He doesn't need fancy steps. You can see it all comes from the soul. That man has soul. Oh man, that's good. Yeah. Sonny Bono is a multi-talented, singing, dancing, one-man entertainment machine. He is the show. I mean, without Sonny, what would that show...
Cut! Mr. Bono, that was great. Although, could we try it again, and this time, could you stick to the script that we gave you?
All right, sure.
Great. And action.
Watch the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour right here on TV Land.
This is J.C. Penney's $10 dress shirt. It's made of silky, smooth Ultressa polyester, a fabric many $14 shirts are made of. It has a special collar that feels soft but stays in shape, a feature many $16 shirts have. It has 7 buttons instead of 6, so that it won't pop open at the waist, a feature some $20 shirts don't even have. The J.C. Penney $10 dress shirt, probably one of the most expensively made $10 dress shirts in America.
Hello, I'm Chuck Connors, and this is Tin Can Alley. An exciting new electronic target game that truly tests your marksmanship from as far away as 25 feet. Nice shooting, Chuck. But Tin Can Alley is safe because it only shoots a beam of light that's as safe as a flashlight. Well, even a rifleman sometimes misses. Tin Can Alley, for real target practice at home, from Ideal.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
Hello! Welcome one and all to an impromptu episode, whatever we want to call it, of The Good Stuff. My name's Dave Sundstrom, and, you know, if you enjoy talking about music, movies, mostly TV from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, you've found the right place. So today this is mostly trivia today. It's probably only going to be, I don't know, an hour long, something like that. We get a little caffeine in the system as we get rolling here. But, I just thought, what the heck? I've got a new microphone for Christmas, a Blue Yeti microphone, and thought I'd give that a try. And just thought I'd hang out with you guys a little bit. So I've got some stuff put together. First and foremost, I wanted to say thank you to Dan Campbell. Dan, the minute I dropped this live stream notification into the system, he threw a $20 super chat at me. So let me just express my appreciation a couple of ways. I can't go back and find that chat. It's too long ago. It was like 3.5 hours ago. But I can say thank you, Dan Campbell. And the comment you made was, obviously there's some things you'd love to see on the channel at some point. More videos around Benson, more videos around Welcome Back, Kotter. So let me throw a little Welcome Back, Kotter love at you. And folks, I'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So who else remembers Welcome Back, Kotter? It's hard to believe now, but way back in 1975, this show, which was based on character from lead actor Gabe Kaplan's stand-up comedy routine, well, it was perceived as controversial and edgy because, as critics of the show would say, it celebrated and glamorized a gang of wisecracking, somewhat troubled teens. Looking back now, this show seems so darn tame. But I remember the old man telling me I couldn't watch it. Along with Gabe Kaplan, who played the title character, the kind, understanding, and always patient Mr. Kotter, Marcia Strassman played Kotter's wife, Julie. At first, her role seemed to be that of a listener. Yep, she'd listen to Gabe talk about his Uncle Herschel or some other relative, and of course help him work through whatever was the problem of the week. But later on, her role would get bigger, especially when Kaplan was having a contract dispute with the show's producers. But let's not get into all that yucky stuff today. Instead, let's take a quick time out here. Does anyone else remember these dolls? Oops, I mean action figures. If I recall correctly, Mattel also sold a classroom playset where you could have hours of fun recreating your own wacky Welcome Back, Kotter storylines. Of course, John Travolta was the breakout star from the show. Travolta has said many times that he truly enjoyed working on the show, and he also, from time to time, reminds everyone that he had to ignore his acting teacher mother's advice, which was to not take the role of Vinnie Barbarino. She was worried that if Welcome Back, Kotter became a hit, he would only get offers for that type of character. Fortunately, Travolta took a risk and signed on to the show anyway. Oh boy, I really wanted this thing. Sadly, 2 things were working against me here. My parents didn't love the show. Wait, better said, they despised the show. And secondly, by the time this lunchbox showed up on retailer shelves, my parents had become kinda anti-lunchbox. Yeah, I cried wolf a time or two and then returned to school lunch, so they were a little bit weary of buying me any more lunchboxes. So anyway, if I wanted to bring lunch from home, it was going to be in a brown paper bag. Here's a great picture from 2011. It was the TV Land Awards where Welcome Back, Kotter was recognized as having made a lasting impact on a generation of viewers. Okay, that's it. Let's get back to trivia. All right, or maybe even better said, let's get started with trivia. But thanks again, Dan Campbell. That was totally unexpected and super appreciated. So, today, 70s music, movie, and TV trivia. That's what we're going to do. I've got to say thank you to Hannah Chester. I took a few of her trivia questions that were in the April 2021 issue of Remind Magazine. I'll flash that on the screen one more time. There it is. A great issue of Remind Magazine. It was the Hollywood Heaven issue, all sorts of feel-good TV shows that have that heavenly theme to it. So, of course, there's a lot in there around Michael Landon, but so much more. The Sound of Music, Touched by an Angel, Sister Act, 10 Commandments. Just a great issue of Remind Magazine, and I love it. I keep going back to the April 2021 issue because, well, it's just awesome. So I swiped a few of Hannah's questions, rewrote a little bit, but they're still her questions, and then I came up with some of my own. So those are the questions we'll use. Oh, by the way, I'm going to put a link, if I haven't already, to Remind Magazine, just so you can subscribe to it if you're interested. That'll be in the video description section. But let's get rolling. Let's get rolling on some trivia because we got a lot going on. Interspersed between the trivia questions, I have some more videos, a little bit more fun, that kind of stuff. So let's see. Let's do this. Let's minimize me. That's always a good thing. And get right there with the trivia questions themselves. We're going to start right here with question number 1. Let's see how you folks do today. First question. We're going to have to go all the way back to 1970 for this. Which TV news anchor died in 1970 after 14 years with NBC News? Again, which TV news anchor died in 1970 after 14 years with NBC News? Was it Chet Huntley, David Brinkley, Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite? Those are your four choices. Lots to think about. And I'm going to give everybody a moment to think about it. And while we do, why don't we play a commercial? Something a little fun while we wait. Hang on. How about this one from 1976?
From the producers of Starsky and Hutch, Charlie's Angels.
They work for me. My name is Charlie.
Meet Jill, Kelly, and Sabrina, tempting angels who could capture any man. Charlie's Angels.
Definitely a favorite of show of mine during the 70s. So, lots of folks have gotten their answers in, and let's see which one is the correct one. Let me click over here on my PowerPoint slides. It's Chet Huntley. Died in 1970 after 14 years with NBC News. Of course, I remember him from the Huntley-Brinkley Report. All right, moving on. Question number 2. Rick Springfield's television debut was in what TV series? Battlestar Galactica, General Hospital, Mission Magic, or The $6 Million Man? I'm going to give you a hint, by the way. Maybe it's an anti-hint. If you go to Wikipedia, they've got it wrong. They have definitely got it wrong. You know, folks, they don't trust Wikipedia. Well, this is definitely the case where they do not have it correct. I will tell you this. Rick Springfield appeared in all of these shows. All right. While we wait, let's do another commercial. How about this one?
Hey, everybody. It's the M&M's Candies Gang.
Who takes peanuts and chocolate? Who takes peanuts and chocolate? And mixes them just right. And mixes them just right. Gives them rainbow colors so they're always nice and bright. The M&M's Gang. The M&M's Gang. The M&M's Gang. And we add a lot to make it all taste good.
M&M's. The milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
All right. That's awesome. Okay. Folks think they know the answers. I see lots of comments. And here is the correct one. Mission Magic. Yeah. So Wikipedia says that his first appearance was on The $6 Million Man, but that is absolutely incorrect. Mission Magic was 73, 74, somewhere around there. $6 Million Man appearance was 76. Battlestar Galactica was what, 78? And then General Hospital was where he actually had a big role, was in the early 80s. All right. So, hey, I've got a little treat for you for those who are saying, scratching your heads and going, what in the world is Mission Magic? Well, it was a Saturday morning television program, and it had some really good music. Rick wrote a ton of songs for the cartoon. And let me see if I have, and I think I have an acoustic version of Rick singing this. It was on one of those Saturday morning preview shows, you know, the ones on Friday evening that would get the kids all hyped up for the new Saturday morning schedule in the fall. So here it is.
And now for some really good stuff.
Cause I believe that I do. Yes, I can see, I believe that it's magic. Your mission is magic, your love will shine through. Do you believe in magic? Cause I believe that I do. Yes, I can see, I believe that it's magic. Your mission is magic, your love will shine through.
That is awesome. Hopefully that kind of helped some folks remember that great cartoon from the I wouldn't want to say early 70s, but I think it might have been like 74. Okay, question number 3. The show Happy Days, the TV show Happy Days, premiered in what year? Was it 1971, 74, 76, 78? All right. I'm looking at some of the comments here. Robert Curatolo says, Dave is a commercial freak. So very true. So very true. I love vintage commercials, and I can actually spend hours on YouTube. There's so many folks that are out there archiving these commercials that I can spend hours just going down a rabbit hole and watching these old commercials. It's amazing the memories, my own personal memories that come flooding back as I watch those vintage commercials. So lots of good answers in the comments section. Many of them are accurate. Saying hello to my friends, Thrash Pondo, Robert Pons, and from Boston, Massachusetts area, I believe. And my buddy Danny Staten out there in South Carolina. I wanted to say North Carolina, but South Carolina. And, we've got all sorts of super fans here as well. We've got Spike Spikerson, Tracy Roth Myers. What other super fans are here? Nancy D is with us today. Miles High, welcome. Keep scrolling through. Let me see if there's someone else that I haven't mentioned that's a super fan that's hanging out with us today. I think that might be it for the time being. If I've missed anyone, my sincerest of apologies. I thought I saw early on Jill was here too, but I haven't seen a comment from her for quite a while, so she may have dropped off. I know a lot of folks like Tracy Roth Myers are working today. I'm off. Well, I'm off. I'm retired, but most folks, at least in the area, many of them have this week off. But some of us don't. Some of us have to go and work hard for the money. All right, let's get back to, let me scroll back to where we are currently with questions. I'm seeing some vacillating from some folks. Hey, there's Superfan Lisa Fields. She's with us today as well. Good to have you here, Lisa. The correct answer is 1974. Yeah. One of my favorite TV shows of all time, especially the first few seasons of that program. Just really great. And of course, I'm a huge Ron Howard fan. Had to be. I love the Andy Griffith Show. Love the Andy Griffith Show. Okay, let's keep moving. Question 4 out of 8. Moving along. What? Here's a holiday question, a Christmas question, if you will. What famous entertainer narrated the Rankin Bass TV special, Santa Claus is Coming to Town? I'll give you a hint before I even go through the names. He also, years later, both of these were in the 70s. I think Santa Claus is Coming to Town was 1970, and this one might have been like 77, 78. But there was another Rankin Bass special titled The Easter Bunny is Coming to Town, and he returned to narrate that special as well. Was it Andy Griffith, Burl Ives, Fred Astaire, or Jimmy Durante? All right, we'll give folks a minute. Let me see if I can rustle something up while folks are thinking. Just a little something fun to watch. Did we do the Farrah doll commercial? I'm not sure if we have. Let's do that one.
Who's the doll with the head of golden hair? Farrah. The doll with the face so pretty, so fair. Farrah.
You can style her hair to match other Farrah's fashions, like Delights, sold separately. Farrah comes with one costume and posing stand. Delights outfit sold separately by Mego.
All right. I remember the Farrah doll. My sister did not have a Farrah doll. She was more into Barbies, but I certainly remember that doll. We've got so many folks that have answered that question, and Superfan Lisa Fields says that she had that doll. Robert Curatolo says, Dave, these are tough questions. Props to your team. Well, some of them are just from me. I don't have a team. Some of them are from me, but the others are from Hannah Chester over at Remind Magazine. So kudos to her and that entire magazine team. Barb Oates and that team over there. Barb's my contact, and where they have been very accommodating. We don't have a paid sponsorship deal or anything going on, but they certainly have been very accommodating when I've asked if I can use some of their material, that type of thing. I'm a longtime subscriber at this point. I found them I guess long time is the wrong word to say. I found Remind Magazine about a year ago at the dollar store. And apparently they did a special issue just for the dollar store. But it was enough to get me hooked. And so I subscribed for the year, and then I just recently resubscribed as well. Okay, let's get to an answer here. I'm just jabbering on about all sorts of stuff, nothing that's related to this question. So, correct answer is Fred Astaire. I saw a lot of folks get that correct, and good job for those folks who did. I am just going to, at the very end, ask for final score, so hopefully everybody's kind of keeping track of how they are doing, and we'll move over to question number 5. Here we go. Which Fleetwood Mac, I told you there'd be some music questions. Which Fleetwood Mac LP won Album of the Year at the 1978 Grammy Awards? Was it a self-titled album, Fleetwood Mac, Mirage, Rumors, or Tusk? We'll go ahead and let folks kind of canoodle over that for a bit. While we do, let me see what else I can rustle up. I played this early on during the intro before we got to the countdown. But I'll play it one more time because it makes me smile. And I want to give folks time to think through this question.
When people talk about the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, they talk about the wild outfits and those cool guests. But man, there's so much more to that show. I mean, Sonny just captures the passion in every song. He makes it look so easy. But you see, that's talent. That's talent shining through there. That man is always on. And comedy, just watch his delivery here.
No, Cher!
Now that's comedy. Here's another one.
A nose job!
Oh man, that's good. His timing is impeccable. Look, here he's dancing. Yeah, man, he doesn't need fancy steps. You can see it all comes from the soul. That man has soul. Oh man, that's good. Yeah. Sonny Bono is a multi-talented, singing, dancing, one-man entertainment machine. He is the show. I mean, without Sonny, what would that show...
Cut! Mr. Bono, that was great. Although, could we try it again, and this time, could you stick to the script that we gave you?
All right, sure.
Great. And action.
Watch the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour right here on TV Land.
That's great. I love Sonny Bono. I thought he was a very funny person. Not only was he a great musician, really, driving force behind Sonny and Cher during those early years, but also just a genuinely kind and funny person. Always made me laugh, especially on those appearances on Love Boat and Fantasy Island. All right, getting back to the question at hand. Which Fleetwood Mac LP won Album of the Year at the 1978 Grammy Awards? Fleetwood Mac, Mirage, Rumors, or Tusk? Well, Terrell Bellinger said it earlier on in the chat. He said, everyone knows. And I'm not sure everyone does, but apparently he did. The correct answer is Rumors. Rumors was the big winner that year. And let's keep moving. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a brief break from trivia. And we're going to travel back in time to 1976. Hope folks will enjoy this little trip. Well, just doing a little time traveling here. Here we go.
1976. I remember it like it was yesterday. Really, folks, I can't believe that more than 4 decades have passed.
It was a huge year for the United States, the bicentennial, 200 years of independence. The entire nation partied, particularly as we got closer and closer to the 4th of July, Independence Day. I remember my dad taking us to see fireworks and then hitting the only McDonald's within 30 miles of us to get Big Macs for the very first time. We didn't go to McDonald's often back then, and although Big Macs were under $1, my dad let us know that trips to fast food restaurants were saved for very special occasions, like a bicentennial. Although money was pretty tight back then, every couple of weeks my dad would give me an allowance. The amount would vary. Sometimes it would be a couple of bucks, but usually it was less than $1. Still, it was enough to hit the little market down the street and grab a Hershey's candy bar and a bottle of Coke. The store was run by a guy named Irv Cleverly, and the market was very cleverly named Irv's Market. Candy bars back then were only 15 cents, and if we would hurry and drink the bottle of Coke outside of the store and then go back in and give the bottle back to Irv, he'd only charge us a nickel for the soda. So even $1 could go pretty far back in the day. In 1976, the average American home cost about $45,000. I remember my mom talking on the phone to neighbors about what homes were selling for, and she didn't understand how anyone could handle a $300 a month house payment. Like I said, things were fairly tight in our home. In 1976, while Gerald Ford was the President of the United States, I was way more familiar with the Vice President, because my dad liked to say, "Who do you think I am, Nelson Rockefeller?" as he went around the house turning off lights after us. Truthfully though, the lights weren't causing the electrical bill to go up. It had to be the TV set. Back then I was spending as much time as my parents would allow in front of the TV. ABC was my network of choice. They had Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. And oh, I remember thinking that the Fonz was so cool. If only I could be like the Fonz. Or Vinnie Barbarino. And of course there was the $6 Million Man. I loved the episode from the 1976 TV season where Steve encountered Bigfoot for the first time. To this day, I get chills thinking about that epic battle in slow motion with all of those bionic sounds. And then there were the Angels. Pharaoh was still around in 1976. 1 year later, in 77, Cheryl Ladd would take her place as her younger sister, Chris Monroe. But during the nation's birthday, we still had Farrah. One of the only shows that I would turn the dial for was MASH. It was on CBS. I ventured over there occasionally, but like I said, ABC was my bread and butter network. There were so many awesome shows. I haven't even mentioned great shows like Three's Company and Starsky and Hutch. And in movie theaters, Stallone's first Rocky motion picture was both a critical and box office success. Even today, when I think about this film, I immediately hear Bill Conti's amazing music in my head. Another movie that I really loved was Logan's Run. Back then, living until you were 30 didn't seem all that horrible. 30 was so old. Now I understand why Logan chose to run. The movie was good, but I do believe, as is often the case, the original novel by William F. Nolan and George Clayton Johnson was so much better. And on the radio, this song seemed to be getting far too much airplay. First I loved it, and then I tolerated it, and then I'd switch stations whenever it came on. Fortunately, enough years have passed now that I enjoy listening to this energetic duet once again. Howard Hughes died in 1976. I remember hearing about it a little bit. What I really remember is this guy, Melvin Dumar, a fellow Utahn who claimed to have a copy of a last will and testament that gave him a whole heck of a lot of cash. I don't remember how things eventually shook out, although I suspect that things didn't go well for Melvin. Oh well, at least he was one of the main characters in the movie Melvin and Howard. Hopefully Hollywood hooked him up with a little bit of cash for his troubles. As the year wound down, I began thinking about what I should put on my holiday wish list. And this is what I landed on. This action figure was so cool. You could look through Steve Austin's eye, you could peel back skin to see advanced circuitry, you could even activate Steve's bionic arm. Other cool things about 1976 worth noting. It was the year that Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs sold their first Apple computer. I believe they assembled the thing in a garage. And Cy Sperling,
Well, he started the Hair Club for Men, giving hope to follically challenged fellers such as myself around the world. Truthfully, I never pulled the trigger on a wig. I just couldn't do it. But I'm glad that there are options out there for those folks who want them. Let's end here. Yep, that's a 1976 Oldsmobile Cutlass. We had one of those. I still remember the day my dad drove home in it after buying it without even talking to my mom. Let's just say she wasn't pleased. The lessons you learn in this old life. The lesson I learned that day was that you keep learning lessons no matter how old you get to be. Alright, now it's your turn. Please share your thoughts and your memories in the comments section. And while you're at it, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and I would be absolutely honored if you considered subscribing to my YouTube channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
There we go. Okay. Well, let's keep moving. We've got 5 more questions to go. Hey, I promise not to interrupt these questions quite as much as I have been doing so far. Blaze, good that you're listening with us. And, just want to say hello to everybody that has joined today for a little bit of trivia. We're going back to the 70s, the decade. It was really my formative decade. I was born in the mid-60s, but I don't remember much TV, music, or movies from that era, at least watching those things at the time. Of course, I've gone back and watched a lot of different types of entertainment from those eras, even back to the 50s, 40s, and 30s. I love old movies and old TV shows, but the 70s was the decade for me in terms of just a formative decade from entertainment from that perspective. All right, so let's get rolling here. Thanks, Emily, for saying that the interruptions are fine. A lot of folks are saying they love ABBA. What I'd be interested in knowing in the chat section, what your thoughts are on the new ABBA album. It's really kind of fizzled after, how long have they been? They were gone for decades, and then they come back with this new album, and I don't think the fans have embraced that new album very much. I did enjoy the first single, but the fact that I can't remember the title of the single right now tells me it might not have had the hook or be as catchy as some of their earlier stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the questions. Question 6 out of 10. Here's a tough one. The TV network Nickelodeon originally launched under which of these names? Was it Brainy TV, Kidsville, Nostalgia Network, or Pinwheel? We'll give folks a few minutes. I'm going to look at people's response to my question. Let's see. Emily is saying that the new album might be doing better in Europe. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. And Troy C. didn't even know a new album was coming out. Raja 1938 correctly identifies or points out that their concerts are going to involve holograms. And they didn't want to perform at their current age. They want to perform these new songs as if they were still in their, like late 20s, early 30s, the way they were during their heyday. Yeah, has a new album. Lisa Fields, superfan Lisa Fields points that out. Michael Rochester says it's good. Let's see if there are any other comments. Danny Staten says that most people don't even remember ABBA. Well, that's, it's hard for me to imagine that. I mean, with the movies like Mamma Mia or Broadway play and then movie Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia, this number 2, and just the impact that they had on a generation of fans. It's sad to think that they might be forgotten. All right, I'm seeing lots of answers. Thrash Pondo says, I guess you could say ABBA has met their Waterloo. And Bendover says, ABBA regrouping was very hyped. They skipped out on $1 billion to get back together a few years ago. Holy cow. And Spike Spikerson asks if Cloris Leachman is a valid answer. Cloris Leachman is a valid answer for any of these questions, given the comedic force that she was during the 70s, both on television and, of course, so funny in Young Frankenstein. And, of course, we lost Cloris early during 2021. Sad to see her go. Okay, let's go to the answer here. The correct answer is Pinwheel. All right, let's keep moving. Move on to question number 7. What film did the Beatles win an Oscar for in 1971? Was it A Hard Day's Night, Let It Be, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, or Yellow Submarine? All right, we'll give folks a minute to think through this. And while we do, let's watch some promo material from ABC television. I think this was from 1979.
Tuesday, Fonzie makes a promise he'll never be able to keep.
I'm going 24 hours without a kiss.
On happy days.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Then Brad walks out on Angie and she tries to shake her blues.
Nobody's perfect.
And Jack's job as a gigolo makes Chrissy red hot with envy.
I've been waiting for you to come home.
On Three's Company, then Alex's snooty sister visits Taxi.
Would you care to wait in my office?
I'd rather be the only woman on a Greek freighter.
It's all right here on Channel 9.
Tuesday on the Lazarus Syndrome, the patient is Joe Hamill's ex-wife, and she's dying. Wednesday on 8 is Enough, wedding bells ring twice for the Bradfords when Susan marries her pitcher and David weds the girl of his dreams. Then Charlie's Angels keep on trucking to run down some hijackers. And on the season premiere of Vegas, Dan hunts the strip ripper. Thursday, Laverne steals Carmine from Shirley and teaches him the facts of life. Then,
if you weren't a woman, I'd
take your best shot.
It's Benson.
It's not good enough to eat.
It's not for you, it's for the dog.
All right, what a great lineup of television shows ABC had during the late 70s. Holy cow. Like I said in the video that we watched earlier, during that time, ABC was my go-to network. Watched other shows on NBC and CBS, but holy cow, that just every program I loved on ABC. All right, what film did the Beatles win an Oscar for in 1971? Hard Day's Night, Let It Be, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, or Yellow Submarine? The correct answer is Let It Be. Yep, the documentary film, Let It Be. I believe it came out actually in 1970, but of course they received the Oscar for it in 1971. All right, let's keep moving. Clicking on the wrong screen. Too many screens in front of me. What film was David Lynch's feature directorial debut? Was it Blue Velvet, Dune, Eraserhead, or Twin Peaks? All right. Let's see how folks are answering this question. So far, nothing in the chat that I can see, but it's coming. I'm starting to see a few responses, and we'll just let those responses keep cycling through. Speaking of David Lynch, and has anybody seen the new version of Dune, which has been playing on HBO Max? I have to say I went into it with a great deal of trepidation and ultimately walked away from the movie feeling like, you know what, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It is still not my favorite of all like science fiction stories. I think Frank Herbert's work requires maybe someone who's a little bit more of a thinker than I am. I'm more of a Star Wars Battlestar Galactica guy, but still, I enjoyed it. I had a good time, and will watch the second part that I think they're planning on making, and I'm sure it won't debut on or premiere on HBO Max. Instead, it'll go straight to theaters. Hopefully, if we get through these times that we're dealing with COVID-19. All right. Let's go ahead and move forward with the answer. The correct answer for this one is Eraserhead. That was David Lynch's first movie that he directed. Oh, it's so good to have everybody here. I can see Sakina McMurrin has popped in. We got lots of folks here. Glad you enjoyed Let It Be. It's one of my favorite Beatles songs as well. Okay, let's keep moving. Question number 9. In 1977, who was George Burns' co-star in the classic motion picture comedy, Oh God? Was it Don Knotts, John Davidson, John Denver, or Kenny Rogers? All right, I'll let folks answer that question. You can post it in the chat. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can just kind of lock it in your head and hang on. In about 30 seconds, I'll share the answer with all of you. But first, let's see if you can recognize who this star is. This is a 1978 Dentyne commercial.
Very fancy.
It's my first real date.
Free advice from your big brother?
About what?
Well, you leave the sweet-tasting gum at home. You're not a kid anymore. Take my Dentyne.
Why Dentyne?
Dentyne's got a snappy, tingly, grown-up flavor. Great for your breath, makes your mouth taste clean, not sweet.
And that's good?
What? You'll find that out soon enough.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi.
Dentyne makes your mouth taste clean, not sweet.
Awesome. So let's see. Let me go back to the comments and see if folks were able to correctly identify who was the star of that commercial. Went on to star in a host of Police Academy movies, Cocoon. He was quite a star during the 80s, and then things kind of fizzled a little bit for him. But yes, a lot of folks are identifying that actor as a young Steve Guttenberg. And I enjoyed him in a romantic comedy, which had Jamie Gertz in it, called Don't Tell Her It's Me. It had Shelley Long in it as well. As a matter of fact, Shelley Long was the kind of the co-star with Steve Guttenberg, but Steve had a crush on Shelley's or on Jamie Gertz, who was someone who worked with Steve or with Shelley in the movie. I'm having to think about this movie way more than I have in a long time. Anyway, it's a good movie. I think it also had another name. You might find it if you're interested on one of the streaming services as The Boyfriend School. It had both of those titles as a movie, and it was quite fun. And we're not talking Academy Award material here, but it was still fun and enjoyable. All right, correct answer is John Denver. All right, let's keep going. We've got one more question for our trivia today. I can't remember what this question is. We'll see if it's music, movies, or TV. Okay, it's television. On the Mary Tyler Moore Show, what was Mary's last name? Was it Carmichael, Petrie, Richards, or Thomas? Robert Curatolo, you need this last one for 60%. Hopefully I've got it for you. I saw a comment earlier on, scrolled by me fairly quickly, saying that you needed a win today. I say just playing trivia is a win. Just hanging out with all these cool people in the chat and, like-minded souls, I like to say. That's a win for me. And that's why these live streams are so much fun. Again, a huge thank you to Dan Campbell, who 3 hours before this live stream went live threw a super chat my way and requested, it was a request too, he threw out a couple topics that he likes, Benson and Welcome Back Kotter. If some of you may have missed the beginning of this live stream, catch it on replay. There is a little video that I inserted about Welcome Back Kotter That video will later on get fleshed out into a larger, more robust Remembering Welcome Back Kotter video, and it will be dedicated to Dan Campbell, the man who dropped that super chat on me early on this morning, the minute the video or news of the video went live. And I see Daryl Johnston reminding folks to hit that like button. How about we have the Fawns do the same thing here?
Hey folks, if you're enjoying this live stream, be like the Fawns and give it a thumbs up. Hey.
Hey. Yes, definitely give the video a thumbs up. And share your final score in the comments section of the video directly, not in the chat. You can definitely share it in the chat, but in the comment section, that's always fun for me to be able to go back without actually watching the entire video, see how everybody did. All right, so let's see what we got going here. Correct answer for this one on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. What was Mary's last name? Carmichael, Petrie, Richards, or Thomas? The correct answer is Richards. All right. Yes, she was Mary Richards on the show. Terrell Bellinger points out that the entire MTM show cast are now gone with the exception of Betty White, unless you count John Amos. He really wasn't. He was only in a handful of episodes. But yeah, Betty White will be having her 100th birthday here in early January. And so she is truly the last surviving regular cast member of that program. All right, just a reminder, folks, a couple of things. First, a reminder to let me know how you did in the comments section. Love reading people's scores, finding out how everybody did. Hopefully the questions were just right. You aim for that sweet spot with the questions where they're challenging, but you get enough of them right that you feel pretty good about your knowledge of, in today's case, the 70s and movies, music, and television shows that came out during that time. So let me know in the comments section. And then also, again, a huge thank you to Hannah Chester. And let me go ahead and go full screen here. Huge thank you to Hannah Chester and the good folks over at Remind Magazine for letting me swipe a handful of trivia questions. Always makes the job of putting these trivia quizzes together just a little bit easier. So appreciate them. I put a link to subscribe to Remind Magazine in the video description field. And lastly, huge thank you to everyone today who joined me for a little bit of trivia fun. It's like I said, it's great to be able to just get together, hang out with folks that kind of think the way I do. We all grew up during the same time, right? We all grew up during the 60s and 70s, and there might be some young folks here that grew up in the 80s, but we've got a lot in common there with another wonderful decade. So thanks to everybody who joined today, and I look forward to visiting with you all in another super chat or another live stream, down the road. So let's do this. Let's go out. We're going to go out with something that is not from the 70s. It's actually from the 60s, but I love it nonetheless. It's a collaboration between Burt Ward and Frank Zappa, and it's just fun. So we'll play that, and then again, thanks to everyone for joining me. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Your entire holiday season has been wonderful. Take care, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Boy wonder, I love you. Boy wonder, I love you.
Hi, kids. It's me, your pal, the Boy Wonder. Taking this opportunity to catch up on my fan mail. Even as a boy wonder, it's really hard to read all the tons of mail I get. Here is a happy letter from someone just about your age. Dear, cute, wonderful, fabulous, magnificent, exquisite boy wonder. A cold chill runs up my spine every time I see you sock a villain. And oh, how I cry when you're even scratched. don't send me a mimeograph copy of interesting facts about you. I want your handwriting. I have a whole wall of my room dedicated to you. Oh boy wonder, I'm making a gum wrapper chain to symbolize my love for you. It's going to be as long as I am tall, and I'm 5 foot 10 inches in stocking feet. Please, boy wonder, please come next Saturday and sleep for a week or two. I will feed you breakfast in bed. I will make your bed for you. And I like you so much that I want you to spend the whole summer with me. I hope you know this is a girl writing.